Hello. So this is a video that a lot of people have been asking for. And so I decided to make it finally. It is me talking through my life before I identified as trans, during my transition, and then now. So I'm going to be showing pictures. I don't know exactly what pictures I'm going to be showing yet because I haven't picked them out, but I wanted to start this so that I would be able to have an idea of what I'm going to show. So I feel like we should probably start with my childhood, right? Like really young, when I was like really cute and little. I had a really good childhood, like nothing I could really complain about. Up until like age 10. And so I have a lot of really happy pictures of me. You know, my mom always said I was like a really happy kid. And I would pretty much aim to please whoever it was that needed something from me, whether it was my mom, like asking me to help her clean. I would help her. I was really excited to do that. Or my sister, who would ask things of me a lot, whether it was like helping her like with a game she wanted to play or just pretty much anything. I was just a kid that really wanted to make everyone else happy, so I was always doing that. You know, this is just from all like the early years, like before puberty, you know, just before things started getting really hard for me. I was just a very happy kid. I was also very feminine, so I have a lot of pictures of me in like crazy cute clothes, like dresses and skirts and weird outfits from that look like they're from the 80s. Just a lot of really cute stuff I can find. But you know, I don't want to spend too much time over there because it's hard to think about how great my life was before I did anything to myself, you know. So let's get into the puberty years. I'll move over here. So here are some pictures of me when I was like 12 and 13. I was a very different person, as you can see. Very drastically changed my look. I wanted to be edgy. I wanted to be different. I really just wanted to show that I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to do with like that haircut or like the look I was going for, but I knew I was different. You know, I kind of just felt different, and I was kind of struggling a lot, you know, with like self-image and just depression, anxiety, you know, an eating disorder. Like it was just really hard. And so as I was going through puberty at that age, like, you know, I was getting taller, I was getting skinnier, but that was mostly because of my eating disorder. And you know, I really didn't see any good in myself at all. I just didn't see anything that other people saw at all, you know. Nothing that anyone else said just mattered to me at all. Like it was all, I was just in my own head. For those like, honestly, for the entire time I was in puberty, I was in my own head, like deep, like I could not get out. That's why I stopped going to school. Like that's why I didn't have any friends really. I did for the middle school years, but after that, once I started getting into like 14, 15, before I started identifying as trans, here's a few pictures. I don't have that many from that time because I really started to hate myself a lot. I was starting to get over it though. By the time I turned 15, I was really like getting to a better place, I think. Like I was starting to get there. I was starting to realize like things mattered more than just like what I felt at that moment, where I was just depressed and sad. There was other things in life to think about. I didn't really know what yet because I was still young, but I was like, you know, maybe I will live past 18. Like maybe I will like be able to survive and see like where my future takes me. But So I do have a few pictures from that time. I don't really know what they are, but we can see them here. And then once I came out as trans, I have many. That was too fast, but you'll see what I mean. So there's a new one. This is gonna be fun to edit later. Yeah, I started to pay a lot more attention to my appearance, ironically enough, when I realized I was trans, because I started thinking like about the things I needed to change about myself, which I had been doing before with my eating disorder, but it was never quite as bad as when I first came out as trans. And for that first year, when I was 15, 16, before I had started hormones, but after I cut my hair, I got another haircut, a shorter haircut, a buzz cut. I started wearing flannels, button downs, and I just hated myself a lot. I really hated everything about myself. And I felt like the worst thing about me was my voice. That was the thing I wanted to change the most. And I just hated it. I hated it with a burning passion. So I was like, well, like the only thing that can change that is hormones. So once I figured out hormones were a thing, that became my goal. So for the first 7 months that I was on hormones, I took all these different selfies, pretty much once a week. Every time I would take my shot, I took a selfie. I was trying to keep like a diary of the changes, and I did that for a good 6 or 7 months. And then I started dropping off, and I started getting kind of depressed about it. I was like, you know, this is something I committed, that, like I said I was going to do this, I committed to this idea. And then I was like, well, I guess it's not going to really like be that exciting once I like keep doing all of my shots like every week for the rest of my life, so it doesn't really matter if I stop. But I remember how bad I felt when I realized like that I had stopped, and just like it was a really weird bad feeling, because I was like, this isn't like fun or exciting anymore. Like this is just kind of like my life now. Whereas before it was like, it was fun. I got to see what was changing. I got to measure the changes. Things mattered. Like how different could I be? And then once I stopped, I just kind of started feeling like I was okay. Like if I don't feel like fun and exciting anymore, I guess I'm just becoming like a real boy, like a real man. And I still felt good about myself, you know, for the next like 2 years. But changes did keep coming. I mean, it doesn't just stop after the first 7 months, after the first year, after the first 2 years. Like the changes are coming all the time. I barely made it through like male puberty before I stopped testosterone. I probably didn't even make it all the way through. Like my voice was still dropping into like year 2. So like there's no way to just like keep measuring yourself and keep holding your body to that standard. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I shouldn't have been in that mindset about the whole thing. It was really just awful, unhealthy. But yeah, here's some pictures of me from like 2017. Let's start there. So this is me about a year on testosterone, working my first job, that like 6 months, learning how to drive, getting my license, going to school, getting all my work done. It was a very good year for me. I got a girlfriend. I'm probably not going to put a picture of her in there because I'm sure she doesn't want to be involved in this. And let's go into 2018 now. What did I do in 2018? Graduated high school. That was a good time. I worked a few jobs here and there. I went canvassing for the Democrats. That was pretty cool. That was a fun time. God, it wasn't even that long ago. It's really weird to think back on it like that. Um, did I get in enough from 2016? If there's any more from 2016, I'll just throw them in there so you can compare and contrast, like 2 years difference. My hair started falling out. Let's get a good picture of my big forehead in here. I have quite a few of those from the early 2019, late 2018 period. That's when I was like peak hair falling out. Stress. I was stressed. I don't know why. I was applying for colleges at this time. That was all I really cared about. I was like obsessed with that. I took a gap year. I worked a little bit, did some dog sitting. I cried at Stranger Things. There's a lot going on here. Let's start with early 2019. Scroll through a few of those. Really hard times for me, as you can tell. I started growing my hair out in May 2018. Didn't really get too far because it started falling out. But it got long enough to where, well, we'll see. Let's keep going. March 2019, April 2019. Let's just get a few of those good ones in there. Here's one from gay prom. The first time I wore a bra in public in like 4 years. Can't really even tell because I was so embarrassed. Did not want anyone to know. I did take my jacket off at one point, and everyone was kind of like, whoa. Even though everyone there was queer, it was like, okay, you know, they were obviously, you know, just letting me do my thing, but also they were kind of like, oh, I don't know about that. What's going on, you know? And I was kind of, I don't know if they really felt like that. Like that's just what that's how I felt. So it was kind of like I was projecting my feelings on everyone else, but like who knows how they actually felt, but that's how I felt. You know, why am I wearing a bra in public when I look like a man? You know, it was just weird. But that was like the first time. That was when I started questioning my gender identity again. So that was April. Then we move into May. Looking at those like pictures of myself from like May and June and July. And I was going, who let who let me do that, and also why? But here's some of my great photos. I went on a really nice road trip in June of 2019. So that was like my last great excursion as Luke. I was gone for like 3 weeks. It was an amazing time. Really would not change that experience for anything. I learned a lot about myself as well and how I wanted to be perceived by other people. How I wanted to fucking go to the beach and wear a bikini, but I had hair everywhere, chest hair. You can see it in that picture. Obviously, I had a beard, but like that's not even the worst part. Um, and so I thought a lot about myself at that point, like, you know. And then we move into August, the month that I decided to detransition. Stop taking testosterone. Here's a picture from around that day. I don't know if I have one from that day, but I can probably find one. And let's do a quick montage of the months that have gone by since then. September, October, November, December, January, and now, February. So that's my detransitioning timeline right there. 30 seconds. I don't know if that's enough time to really be able to take it all in. Yeah, so I've learned a lot. I've changed a lot. I've been through a lot. And things have been good. Things have been really good. On this day, the day I stopped taking testosterone, I sat there and I was like, I don't know if I'll ever look like a woman again. I don't know if I'll ever be seen as a woman again. But regardless of the way other people see me, I know that I need to do this for myself, not for anyone else, not for society, like not for men, not for transphobes or trans people. Like, I don't need to do this for anyone else. I needed to do it for me. So that's what I encourage you to think about next time you have to make a decision like that. Is it what's best for you? Definitely was for me. I'm very proud of the person I am now. I'm very glad I've come this far. And I just can't wait to see what happens next. So, thank you for watching. Yeah. Come back next week for another video.